Hello. This is just a short video. I'm gonna try and make it short. A short video before I go into work because this is something that's been. The ideas have been right there for like the last 2 months, so I'm gonna say them out loud so I will not forget them, and I'll probably upload this while I'm at work. Um, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Aaron Klein. I know I keep saying that. That's okay. I think it's just gonna stick for a little while. Um, and the reason why I say that is today I have a very interesting. It's sort of interesting. I'm a Protestant that's sort of like waddled over into the Orthodox base, and I didn't like it at first, and I keep walking over back to Protestantism and back to Orthodoxy, and I know that sounds like, oh no, I'm riding the Jonathan Peugeot, Jordan Peterson pipeline. I'm like, yes, but I'm not going to become Orthodox. And you might be like, well, cool, you live in America, that's fine. They're going to say that those who don't enter Orthodoxy are going to hell. Believe me, they actually do say that quietly. Um, and I think I have a very different understanding of why they get to that conclusion. And I think it's kind of faulty. So there's actually like four, that makes number four issues I have with Orthodox Christianity. I think I've said this before, my issues, but I'm just going to go through them. And the first one is really obvious. It's a really potent Protestant claim. Mary was a human. Do not venerate her. In fact, I think veneration is very much akin to worship, which goes into the second one, which is actually what one of my other issues is that they paint icons to saints and to Christ. And, by the way, we're literally going to talk about that this video. And what was the third? They use risen bread in communion. Other than that, other than those three practices, the fourth one that I sort of was approaching is theosis, but that is just actually, I think it's a language issue because they are drawing. I think it's literally just a language issue that if you changed the language to a more Western language that still holds identical to the intention, people would hop on really quickly. In fact, there's actually a lot of Protestants. I don't know about lately, but there have been many Protestant preachers. I'm gonna say preachers. I don't know if Shepherds are right. I don't know. I don't know the terminology for each church. There have been many Protestants that have come to the ideas of theosis, but I think it is. I think the language is wrong because theosis means to make yourself like God. And most Protestants actually read that and see that as to say that you are God. And that is really, in a Western sense, a very bad thing to say. Because we've seen people try to assume godhood. And the last man that he never said the words, but he was getting close to doing that. The last several men who have done that have ended up killing somewhere around 1 billion people collectively. Yeah. And like you can see from the language they're using that they have a hyper-inflated ego. And I'm almost certain that is what killed all those people, that hyperinflated ego in the seat of power. That is satanic, by the way. I'm going to use satanic from now on. I think Luciferian is the wrong word. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the Luciferians of modern are... while I do have the same critique that they do, because the Catholic Church did make they used the word Luciferian to refer to Satan. Lucifer as Satan. I don't think that was correct. 1 second. Okay, I had to blow my nose. I didn't want that on camera. The term Luciferian, the only reason why I'm going down this path is this has just been one of the other things in my mind. Luciferian is, Lucifer is Lightbringer. It's a Prometheus Firebringer kind of idea. I don't know what to do with it yet, but I'm almost certain that you could technically claim Moses as a Luciferian figure if you use the word correctly. I do not agree with the teachings of the Church of Lucifer, because I think they're committing the sin of worshiping the finger, not the thing that it's pointing at. And that's, people have been doing that for a very long time. So, to back up, today's video I want to talk about the icon issue. I think an adequate worship of Jesus Christ has nothing to do with an image of him. I think it is okay to have an image of him, but don't worship the image, because again, like the Luciferians, they are worshiping the thing that is pointing at something, not the thing itself, which is what society has, one of the issues society has fallen into the trap of. And that's, I don't know if that's an issue with Protestantism. I don't know. I need to do a whole lot more thinking, but I figured I'd put this out now. My claim is that the individual is the icon of Christ, and Christ is the manifestation, which means he's the icon of God. So the Catholic individualistic movement that led to Protestantism is correct, which means that paintings of Christ should not exist. And in fact, I'm going to say, not paintings of Christ. Icons of Christ are a pagan implant that shouldn't have happened. I think they're beautiful, but to worship a painting falls directly against the Old Testament commandment of thou shalt not make a graven image of me. The image God chose to show the world was Christ himself. And that may be the only image of God we were allowed to see. The next closest thing is literally looking at your neighbor. So actually, the correct approach the Orthodox Church should be taking is they shouldn't have the icons around for people to worship. I'm okay actually with pictures of even saints. I don't care if they are direct representations via picture, like camera, or if they are paradirect, as in icons, or if they are a list of names. In fact, I think a list of names would probably be just as beautiful. To have walls with lists of names of saints. Even if that's just communal, people who were pillars in the community. To have one wall with just, this is something that America has done that was strictly a Protestant creation. We've done this practice actually for like the last 80 years. I think it's the correct approach to it. We have war monuments I know in Columbus, where I live, downtown, we have a massive monument to the fallen of World War II. We have bricks with names engraved into them all over downtown. And we have, I think it's 3 or 4 pillars with names engraved on them. I think that is a better representation of God's glory on this earth. My main point was that as the individual, as the person in front of you is the correct icon of Christ. So that means also you are, which means that you should make your entire life a temple unto him. That's the main idea that I had today. That's one of the main reasons why I don't go to the Orthodox Church. And I don't think they would agree, but I think I'm right. I think I would piss a whole bunch of them off. Not that any of them would ever leave, but a small inkling part of them, I'd plant a seed saying, do not worship God by looking at his glory in the church. Worship God by going out and looking at his glory in the eyes of the person you're talking to. Listen to them, know them, learn to love them, because that's the language of God. For God is love. And in order to love someone, you have to learn who they are. You have to understand their essence. And that's a very long challenge. But as you learn more and more people, their lives, their failures, you start to understand the essence of God. And it's beautiful. Thank you for your time.